Somewhere in Nigeria, around Abuja area, to say one community be close to Abuja, Efreho Orozo. When some incident be esi wo hono one young man be a friend Temileyin Ajaya. Sabridia. He is a gospel artist, and also a fitness enthusiast and then a TikTok content creator. Now, this young man has done something very bad. The stories are really trending. Oko Nigeria, as at now, it is really trending. But it's a very bad thing. I just say etmes Nigeria. Maybe breakdowns and full details of the stories in bro. How you have media, make sure so best subscribe to channel we now turn on the bell notification icon now. If you share video we now anchor very viral now for comment to the comment box. So details of this story and say this young man your friend Ajayi Ajayi, he's a gospel artist and also a fitness enthusiast and then a TikTok content creator. So he's very popular and he's very famous on the social media. Now, one day, one morning, early morning, this young man was spotted with a black polythene bag. Okofa a motorbike trying to move from one particular place and a destination to another. Now along the way now motor rider no and a motorbike and this young man a kokofa no na motor rider no notice that there is something wrong on this man. He started to find out there is something not going really well. So this motor rider noticed that there is some drop of liquid coming out of the polythene bag and ekuta Temileyin young man your friend Temileyin Ajayi some drop of liquid be a free polythene bag in go form. So this motor rider stopped and then tried to confront and then asked him, say, what is in the polythene bag? Antia ekutana nyama ana insure liquid something every thought of him. So this young man tried to deny it and then told the motor rider say they should continue their journey now on final call to his destination. But no, the motor rider didn't allow him to know. As the argument and then the conversation were going on, people came around. I say it got intense. So people came around and then they tried to question the young man. Now incident esiwo Orozo near Abuja. So people came around and then they questioned him. And what they find out was a young lady's head. Now say obabiti a young man we wakuta wetume kuta obabiti. Now information yesa say young lady your friend is Salome Salome niti and a young man yakuta. Now it is alleged said this young lady Ajayi and a girlfriend. Yes, and a girlfriend na sabri de wotumi etranity cry wokuno every assassin. So now information is in the he was going to use the head for rituals. Sabre the police for etimi achi young man omobusa no questions bibli na abusunya yenko videos ni bi ni ntie yenko into details of the stories ankasa yenko yeba beto ankomo no so.
So guys, something very disturbing happened in the Orozo area of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. A man identified as Temileyin Ajayi was caught on Sunday, the 12th of January 2025, carrying a black sack bag whose contents raised suspicions that resulted in a very heartbreaking discovery. Temileyin was said to have taken a motorbike to an unknown location along Abuja. However, along the way, the bikeman who took him on the journey noticed that there was a strange liquid coming out of the bag Temileyin was holding. The bikeman eventually discovered that the dripping liquid was actually blood. This discovery sparked his curiosity about the content of the bag. In this regard, he parked the motorcycle and then asked Temileyin what was inside the bag that had blood dripping from it. The bikeman also noticed that the sack had a lot of flies around it, which was also quite unusual, unless he had something like a spoiled food or trash inside the bag. This observation heightened the driver's suspicion, making him even more curious to find out what was inside the bag. The back and forth with the driver caught the attention of other people who were also around the area. These concerned observers approached Temileyin to check the contents of the bag he was carrying. As expected, he resisted and also cooked up excuses to avoid getting the bag checked, since he already knew the implication its contents would have on him. Regardless, the people who caught him that afternoon successfully looked into the bag, and what they found inside sent shivers down their spine. The bag was found to have contained the head of a woman whose identity was unknown at the time. Temileyin was quickly apprehended and the police were called to the scene. When the police arrived at the scene, they began questioning him to find out how the horrific discovery ended up inside the bag he was carrying. Temileyin told the police that the head was that of his girlfriend, Salome Adaidu. According to him, he had an argument with her, and along the line, things got intense and she attempted to attack him with a knife. Temileyin claimed he was able to overpower her and then eventually ended up butchering her. However, a source who seemed to know Salome and her family very well made a comment that showed Temileyin was lying. According to him, Salome was not Temileyin's girlfriend as he had claimed to be. They do not even know each other to start with. Salome was said to have left home that very day to visit a friend in Karu, which is a local government area in Nasarawa State, but in a very close proximity to Abuja, where the horrific discovery was made. The source disclosed that Salome entered a wrong tricycle, which means she was probably kidnapped by the suspect before brutally taking her life. A lot of people believe that he was on his way to dispose of the head when he was caught. What we do not know is if he was taking it to a ritualist for a supposed money ritual or if he had other intentions for it. As of now, not much is known about his motive for the horrific crime other than what he had told the police, but a little research revealed some interesting things about Temileyin. Salome was said to be an indigene of Kogi State and of the Igala tribe, while Temileyin hailed from the Kaba community in the same Kogi State. It is not known if they've met before while in Kogi State or in Abuja. Going by Temileyin's confession at the crime scene, he claimed that they had been dating for over a year before he eventually took her life. Salome was said to be a graduate of the Department of Library and Information Sciences at Kogi State University. She reportedly finished school in 2023, and there is currently no information on whether she lived in Abuja or in a neighboring state. It was also discovered that Temileyin was a gospel artist. He released his first worship song titled God of All the Earth in September 2019, while he was still the lead vocalist at the Seed of Prosperity Ministry, Abuja. It will also interest you to know that Temileyin was a former atheist. He became a Christian some years before he released his first gospel song. Temileyin disclosed in 2019, during the release of his song, that he once doubted the existence of God until God strategically restored him to himself and then gave him the song, God of All the Earth, so that he could proclaim his sovereignty. What we do not know is exactly what he meant by God strategically restored me back to himself. Temileyin did not make it clear if he was previously a traditionalist or if he just didn't believe that there was any supreme being that controlled both the physical and the spiritual. As of now, it is strongly believed that Temileyin allegedly murdered his girlfriend for ritual purposes. What we also don't know is if the ritual was aimed at skyrocketing his gospel music career or his current job as a photographer and content creator. Temileyin had not released another gospel song after the first one. At the time he was arrested, he was working as a photographer, videographer, social media manager, and songwriter in Abuja.
So Abusia, this is what is really going on now. Just say utie report na a play or video na yekoko hwe ni mu na just say the guy was trying to take the head from Baby Cry Odi Boneno to another destination as to whether or they call for rituals or going to do something else there. As at now, we don't have the concrete evidence to prove said this is what he's going to do. You know, police for a guy where said they have arrested him and then he's in police custody. Yet still no questions. And the reason why in Tia Otumi committed this crime, Sabri there, a young man na so abeye shipa ye na eyewitness omo around no etri mo say they noticed house flies at they were hovering around the bag ekutano that and raises suspicions na ma omo tumi ebopini no na omo bidja na police for ebusan say what I mean, really came on him. Oh yes, I didn't. And the response and the answers were the police, and they said it was the work of the devil. This particular statement, everybody, it is almost coming to be a common thing. Ubia obedi boni bia ekubusa. He will say it is the work of the devil, but I don't think that's the truth. People are very aware of whatever they do. So that was the answers and our replies of the police. Police are still doing investigation and then find out what caused this incidents. And Kasabushia, you have media near stories so much as trendy. What I say, Nigeria Sabri, they are trendy or year per year. Yeah, they update abroad. You know, yeah, because ediachi anything be a best free honomo abano. Yeah, they update every channel. So, me that's a parcel with you have media. Boy, na jumediwe and koso macrown.